Hey everybody, Scott Walters. Welcome to the show. If you're new, I want to thank you for coming. If you're returning, I want to thank you for your continued support. Before we get into today's red hot topic, let me politely ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Please watch to the end for my final thought and hit the bell icon so you're notified when new videos are released. It is very important to stay close to the channel in these very tricky times. All right, friends, welcome to the channel. It's always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. So yeah, foreclosures. We got to talk about foreclosures. I continue to see a lot of messages and emails from y'all interested in potentially buying foreclosures. Where are they at? I want to do it. I know there's a lot of courses being sold on how you can buy foreclosures and do this and that and the other thing and possibly. For me personally, friends, this is what you really need if you're targeting foreclosures. And that's a real estate agent. You need some, you're going to need one anyway. Why, you want to fall into the bank's hand or the selling side's agent? No, it's like going to court using the other side's attorney. You need representation. Of course, I'm here to help you with that. Helping you guys left and right. I'm trying to recondition everybody's minds to understand the waters we're swimming in now are shark infested. Anytime the market exhibits bubble behavior, there's going to be crash risk, which will lead to, in fact, foreclosures. But while inventory is as light as it is, it's just not going to be, I wouldn't target foreclosures quite yet. Now, some of the big search engines that you use, the Zillows and Redfins and all the others, they usually will have a search filter where you can search just pre-foreclosures or foreclosures. You can find them. They're out there, but they're all elevated on price. For me, if I'm going to pay top dollar, I don't want to do it on a foreclosure property. I'd rather do something on a property that's a legitimate sale, that I don't have to jump through all the hoops and roll the dice and not even know if my offer is accepted or not till the 11th hour. I don't want that. And I personally believe there will be a foreclosure wave at some point. It might just be isolated to certain areas. It could sweep the America. You get to decide what you think's coming. A lot of information out there to digest in terms of what you think's coming. I mean, my gosh, what I'm seeing is much worse than 2008. So I believe we'd be lucky to get out of this with a 2008 style reverse course. But that was a massive reverse course, bigger than anything we've had up until that point. But this bubble exhibited more volatile behavior as an overnight appreciation than never seen before highs. It broke all the wrong records. So this bubble it's more bubbly. So bigger crash risk. That's just realities. What goes up must come down. Now, the only thing currently holding it up, again, inventory. So where are these foreclosures going to come and how do I get them? Well, I believe, I don't know, if I was a betting man and I was going to really take an educated guess on this thing, short of a black swan event coming out of nowhere where all of a sudden all the major news networks are, covering the Airbnb collapse or investors or Wall Street or commercial real estates, they're already doing that, aren't they? Yeah, they're already doing that. My bad. Insane. We're one news event away from a race to the bottom. But even if it just flatlines, like no more bad news, we just rely on the news that we currently have, the social and political and economic BS that's currently going on. I believe probably this thing, well, as soon as we see the inventory catch up to regular levels and the amount of bubble buyers that are no longer going to be able to afford their homes and the amount of investors that poured in and the commercial real estate that's fractured right now, all that and the layoffs in the white collar wage earner sector and what else? I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot. Once we see those things, we won't need much inventory to make this thing go sideways and foreclosures to start occurring. They are out there. The realities are, I believe if I'm a bank and I've got some foreclosures or pre-foreclosures or some REO properties on my hands, I'm retaining a local agent and they're able to handle these pretty efficiently. It's when they get buried in these things and it's a falling knife and they're just trying to sell off debt as quick as they can because they're fragile themselves. I mean, those are the things that potentially are coming around the corner. But for me, if I was targeting foreclosures right now, the first thing I'd do is I'd find a longtime agent and say, hey, man, I know this isn't what you want to hear. I'm targeting foreclosures. If anything comes up, I'd like to get on your client list to be notified if anything pops up in X price range. A good agent's, while they won't be thrilled to do it because, they don't want to earn your business later. They want you to buy now. And they might show you properties that make more sense to buy now than waiting for a foreclosure property anyway, or what foreclosure properties are currently competing with. It just might not make sense to even target anything now. But a good agent's going to put you in their Rolodex and their drip campaign and keep you in touch with everything that's going on based on the criteria you've given them where you want to see. So you can track the inventory with an agent and be able to submit your offer and have somebody to jump through all the hoops that it's going to take necessary to buy a short sale REO, pre or foreclosed property. You will need your own representation. The seller pays all the commissions, so it doesn't cost you a dime to retain an agent as the buyers on the buyer side. That's the reality. So if you're just out there, I'll look at this foreclosure, let's call the number on there. No, it's like going to court using the other side's attorney. They're going to tell you whatever they need to hear and make you feel. You need somebody representing you. So foreclosures, my friends, like I was about to say, if I didn't get there, we're probably, if I had to guess, let's say a year. Let's take a year. Let's say all of a sudden the market just continues, inventory's coming in, the news gets worse or just stays the same, and then all of a sudden inflation and the people's savings rate and student loan, I mean, all this stuff starts to take people out and force them to market. Airbnbs being shut down in the city, that these Airbnb buyers, all of a sudden it's just starting to stack up and we start to see a little bit of a spike in foreclosures. If and when foreclosures end up, in my opinion, to really get bargain basement foreclosure pennies on the dollar, it will have to be overwhelming crisis mode, like mainstream media. It's dominating daily or nightly news on a regular basis, the foreclosure crisis. That's when you basically maybe can buy and it's going to be trashed, and that place might look like a war zone. But if that's what it's motivating you is to just purely price, that's what you're going to have to wait for. Now, bailouts will occur. We've seen how quick people get bailed out right now. I mean, the bailout era, the money printing era is astronomical. And it's very short-sighted because we tried this in the last bubble. We did a bailout for the housing market. I've talked about this, the Obama-backed loan modification program. You simply had a hardship. We'll put the balance on the back end and fit you into a nice lower payment. But people lost their homes in a foreclosure crisis, and a housing crash came anyway. So we're navigating through a bigger bubble with more stimulus injected. This thing's dancing on the razor's edge, I would assume. Now, insanity, right? Like insanity, the stuff that we get to navigate through. I believe if we see a foreclosure crisis, we're going to need mainstream media to report on it. We're going to need a bailout program to target it. And then we could be about a year out. It could happen tomorrow. Make no mistake about it. We're one news event away from all of a sudden this thing just the floodgates opening. But even if we keep going in the natural progression of what I'm seeing out of these markets, I believe within a year that we could be definitely seeing that exact thing happen, where mainstream media talking about the foreclosure crisis, and the floodgates will just completely open. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the biggest artificially created housing bubble ever produced in world history might not sustain itself. My friends. I don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you the facts. Anytime the market exhibits bubble behavior, you have to put some crash risk on it. If somebody you're working with is putting zero crash risk on this, they have financial gain, they are blinded, they're in denial, they're trying to operate under self-preservation. You never want an agent in worse shape than their clients. Many agents drank the real estate Kool-Aid in this. The realities are loan applications are down, sales are down. It's not all rainbows and sunshine in these sales meetings. Let me just communicate that to you right now. Some areas are behaving differently. Some areas are still like, I think it's pretty normal here. Other areas are crickets. That's just the realities, the start of a housing market downturn. If you're targeting foreclosures, sure, you can start looking at some stuff online and seeing what kind of filters are producing a foreclosure or pre-foreclosure list. Nothing wrong with that. Start to see what's the price they're at, the bank's asking versus what Joe down the street's asking for his traditional sale. You can start doing that. If in fact you're like, hey, I think I want to see about buying this house, just get in the hands of a top agent and come in with your own representation. Of course, I will help you with that if needed. And pretty much that's it, my friends. In the meantime, I wouldn't take the bait on, the foreclosure crisis is here. It's not. We don't even have the inventory to support a normal market yet. All we've done is frozen this one in place, and it's now on the razor's edge to see if it can somehow survive interest rate hikes. Logic would say there's no way. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. It's not if anymore. It's purely when. And I'll be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there. Along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make a count today. I'll see you on the next video.